The moment I walked into the office, I could feel it, the stiffness in her shoulders, the sudden way her laughter died when she saw me. "Hey, babe," I said softly, holding up the takeout bag. "Your favorite? Thai noodles." Sarah's eyes darted around the room before she managed a tight smile. "Oh, wow, thanks, Ryan. You didn't have to come all the way here." Her voice dropped on the last part, almost swallowed by the clatter of keyboards and murmured phone calls. I froze mid-step. The tone. It wasn't gratitude. It was discomfort. Like she wished I wasn't there. Her co-workers exchanged glances that they thought I didn't notice. A man in a navy suit, broad shoulders, confident smirk, walked out of the corner office, phone pressed to his ear. He saw me and smiled in that way some men do when they already know something you don't. "Sarah," he said smoothly, lowering his phone. "You didn't tell me your boyfriend was stopping by. Thought you were meeting your friend for lunch." Her face drained of color. Mr. Langston, this is Ryan. My partner." "Partner," he repeated, eyes sliding over me like I was an afterthought. "Right. Pleasure." He extended his hand, his grip firm but smug, his gaze still locked on her. Then, before walking away, he added, almost playfully, "Next time, let me know when your friend will be joining us." The word friend hit like a slap. That single word started everything. In the elevator, the silence between us was suffocating. I could still smell her perfume, vanilla and jasmine, but now it made my stomach twist. "Who's the friend?" I asked, my voice low but trembling. She stared at the floor. "It's just what he says. He's like that with everyone." "You told him you were meeting a friend, Sarah. Not your boyfriend. Not even my name." Her lips parted, but nothing came out. I watched the reflection of us in the elevator door, two people standing side by side, yet oceans apart. When we reached the lobby, she stepped out first, like she couldn't get away fast enough. "I'll call you later," she said, not meeting my eyes. But she didn't. Not that day. Not the next. That weekend, I couldn't stop replaying it in my head. Her hesitation. His smirk. The word friend. I told myself I was overthinking. That maybe I was just insecure. But then the small things started stacking up. Late-night texts she'd quickly hide. Work emergencies that didn't match her calendar. A new perfume I didn't buy. On Tuesday night, I followed her. It was raining, thin, cold sheets that made the city lights blur. I stayed far enough back as she walked into the same sleek restaurant where Langston often entertained clients. She didn't see me. But I saw her. And him. He was leaning close, hand on hers. She was laughing, head tilted just enough to tell me this wasn't business. I stood outside the glass, my reflection superimposed over their smiling faces. I wanted to burst in, to scream, but I couldn't move. My hands were shaking too hard. My throat burned, my chest tight, like grief and rage had fused into one unbearable weight. When she finally left 2 hours later, I drove home in silence. She came home past midnight, smelling faintly of wine and rain. "How was work?" I asked, my voice steady, too steady. She hesitated at the doorway. "Exhausting. We had a late client dinner." I smiled faintly. "With Langston?" Her eyes flickered. "Yeah. Why?" "No reason," I said, forcing a nod. "You just looked happy." Something in her expression faltered, but she didn't ask what I meant. She just slipped into the shower, and I sat there, listening to the water run, wondering when our home had become so quiet. I didn't confront her right away. I wanted proof, not for me, but for that part of me that still hoped I was wrong. So I waited. I watched. The next week, I went to her office again. This time, I waited in the car across the street. At 5:47 p.m., she came out laughing, phone in hand, looking over her shoulder at someone following behind. Langston. He brushed something off her shoulder, and she didn't step back. Then he said something that made her grin in a way I hadn't seen in months. I grabbed my phone and took a picture. Not to share. Not to expose. Just to remember the exact second I stopped being in denial. That night, I put the photo on the table when she came home. She froze, staring at it. Before you say anything, I said quietly, just tell me the truth. Don't make me feel like I imagined it. Her eyes filled instantly. Ryan, it's not what it looks like. I laughed. Hollow. It never is it? But tell me, when you told him I was your friend, was that before or after you started sleeping with him? She covered her face, trembling. It just happened. He made me feel seen. I didn't mean to. My voice cracked. Sarah, you made choices. Every time you lied. Every time you hid your phone. Every time you looked me in the eye and pretended everything was fine. She started sobbing. I didn't want to lose you. I stood there, shaking. You already did. Then, from behind her, I heard the faint buzz of her phone. The name flashing on the screen made my stomach twist again. Langston. She saw it too, and the panic in her eyes told me everything I needed to know. I turned toward the door. Ryan, please, she cried. Don't tell anyone. He's my boss. It could ruin everything. I stopped, my hand on the doorknob. The words that came out surprised even me. Good, I said quietly. Maybe chaos is what you both deserve. The next morning, her office was in uproar. Someone had sent the picture to the company mailing list. Sarah, laughing with Langston, his hand on her shoulder. She called me over and over, but I didn't answer. When I finally did, all I said was, I didn't send it. But I didn't need to. Langston's wife did. Weeks later, I got an email from Sarah. Just one line. I thought you were embarrassed to come to my office that day. Turns out, I was the one who should have been ashamed. I stared at the screen for a long time before closing it. There was no satisfaction. No revenge high. Just quiet. The kind that comes after a storm has finally destroyed everything worth saving. And for the first time in months, I didn't feel angry. Just free.